He sat by the same window every night. A small lamp glowed beside him. A folded blanket rested on his knees. The Bible lay open in his lap, marked with pencil notes from years past. Outside, the world was quiet, too quiet sometimes. Sleep no longer came easily. Perhaps it changed after she passed, or after the children moved away. Or maybe the silence had always been there, just unnoticed before. Still, he returned to this chair, night after night, not because it solved anything, but because this is where the peace sometimes came. Not in grand ways, not suddenly, but in soft, faithful whispers. He opened the scriptures. He waited. He spoke only a few words into the stillness. "I'm tired tonight, Lord." No fancy prayer, no deep theology, only honesty in the dark. "Come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." Matthew chapter 11, verse 28. He closed his eyes. He breathed slowly. He let the day fall behind him. "In peace I will lie down and sleep. For you alone, Lord, make me dwell in safety." Psalm chapter 4, verse 8. Some nights, a tear would fall, quietly, without fanfare. Not sadness alone, but the weight of being human, of missing someone, of wondering if he still mattered. He lifted his eyes again. The word met him there. "Even to your old age and gray hairs, I am he. I have made you, and I will carry you." Isaiah chapter 46, verse 4. He read until the words became a blanket. They wrapped around him. They reminded him who he belonged to. "Be still and know that I am God." Psalm chapter 46, verse 10. Sometimes he fell asleep in the chair. Other times, he simply sat still, letting the presence of God be enough. "The Lord is my shepherd. I lack nothing. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. He restores my soul." Psalm chapter 23, verses 1 through 3. "Cast all your anxiety on him, because he cares for you." 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 7. He was not trying to be strong. He was not trying to impress God. He was just there. And God was too. "The Lord gives strength to his people. The Lord blesses his people with peace." Psalm chapter 29, verse 11. Reflective pause. Maybe you know that feeling. Maybe you've waited in the quiet, wondering if God still draws near. He does. He always has. He is close to the weary, close to the lonely, close to those who whisper, "I'm tired tonight." Lord, return to your rest, my soul, for the Lord has been good to you. Psalm chapter 116, verse 7. When you lie down, you will not be afraid. Your sleep will be sweet. Proverbs chapter 3, verse 24. Bedtime truth. You are not forgotten. You are not alone. You do not need to try harder. You do not need to carry it all. God is not waiting for perfection. He is already here, and in his presence, you can rest. Sleep now. You are safe. You are seen. You are loved. The next evening, he returned to the window. The chair creaked softly as he sat down. The room was still, except for the slow ticking of the old clock. He didn't say much. He just opened the scriptures again, just like the night before. It didn't feel like a routine. It felt like a rhythm, a quiet meeting between the soul and God, a kind of homecoming. My soul finds rest in God alone. My salvation comes from Him. Psalm chapter 62, verse 1. He had once chased so many things: success, security, approval. But none of those things ever truly gave rest. Not like this. Not like the stillness that settled when God's words were near. You will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast, because they trust in you. Isaiah chapter 26, verse 3. He thought of the people he missed. Some had died. Others had drifted away. Still others he just no longer heard from. There were aches he could not name, and longings that still stirred in the quiet. But there was also something else now. A slow, steady assurance that God had not left, that God had not changed, that the silence was not empty. Whoever dwells in the shelter of the Most High will rest in the shadow of the Almighty. Psalm chapter 91, verse 1. The Lord is near to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. Psalm chapter 34, verse 18. He read until the words became familiar again, like the voice of someone who had never stopped speaking, but whom he had finally grown quiet enough to hear. In repentance and rest is your salvation. In quietness and trust is your strength. Isaiah chapter 30, verse 15. He whispered one prayer before closing the book. Not for answers, not for miracles, just for peace. The Lord replied, "My presence will go with you, and I will give you rest." Exodus chapter 33, verse 14. He sat for a while longer, not reading, not thinking, just breathing. His eyes began to close. He gives his beloved sleep. Psalm chapter 127, verse 2. Reflective pause. You do not have to understand everything tonight. You do not need to have the perfect words. God understands your sighs. He hears even your silence. He is with you now. Let the beloved of the Lord rest secure in Him, for He shields them all day long. Deuteronomy chapter 33, verse 12. Bedtime truth. The world may not slow down for you, but God will. He does not rush past your tiredness. He meets you in it. You are not too much for Him. You are not too late. You are not too far gone. You are deeply known and deeply loved. Rest now. Let the night carry what you cannot. Let God hold what you were never meant to bear alone. Sleep, beloved. You are safe in His care. It had become His habit now. Each evening, as the sun faded, He made tea, folded the same old blanket, and returned to the window. He didn't expect anything dramatic. He wasn't chasing a feeling. He was learning the quiet discipline of showing up, of sitting still before the Lord. Even youths grow tired and weary, and young men stumble and fall. But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. Isaiah chapter 40, verses 30 and 31. He remembered a time when he kept himself busy, always moving, always distracted. Sometimes he had mistaken that for peace, but now he knew better. Peace was not in motion. Peace was in presence. God's presence. The Lord is gracious and righteous. Our God is full of compassion. Psalm chapter 116, verse 5. He thought of all the things he used to worry about, things that never came to pass, things that no longer mattered, and a few that still did. He let them go again, not because they were fixed, but because he wasn't meant to hold them so tightly. Cast your cares on the Lord, and He will sustain you. Psalm chapter 55, verse 22. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your path straight. Proverbs chapter 3, verses 5 and 6. Some nights the peace came slowly. Some nights it came not as comfort, but as courage, not as ease, but as endurance. But it always came, because God always did. The eternal God is your refuge, and underneath are the everlasting arms. Deuteronomy chapter 33, verse 27. He didn't need to say much. Only, "Thank you, Lord." And then he would rest. You hem me in behind and before, and you lay your hand upon me. Psalm chapter 139, verse 5. Reflective pause. You may not feel strong. You may not feel steady, but that's not what God asks of you tonight. He does not require your perfection, only your presence, only your willingness to rest in him. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Matthew chapter 11, verse 28. Bedtime truth. God is not far away. He is not silent. He has not forgotten you. You don't have to work harder to earn his attention. You already have it. You don't have to stay up worrying about tomorrow. He is already there. Let go now. Not because everything is fixed, but because God is faithful. Close your eyes. You are not alone. Sleep in his peace. He watches over you still. He sometimes wondered what people thought of a man who spent his nights alone with a Bible and a lamp, but he no longer worried about what others thought. He had found something here that the world could not give and would not understand. He had found a stillness that healed him, not by removing his burdens, but by reminding him he wasn't alone in them. God is our refuge and strength, an ever-present help in trouble. Therefore we will not fear. Psalm chapter 46, verses 1 and 2. Some nights were quiet, others were filled with memories, faces he missed, words he wished he had said, things he wished he had done differently. But still, he came, because even regret can rest when it is laid at the feet of mercy. As far as the east is from the west, so far has he removed our transgressions from us. Psalm chapter 103, verse 12. There is now no condemnation for those who are in Christ Jesus. Romans chapter 8, verse 1. He read slowly, letting each word settle into the silence. He was not trying to study. He was trying to receive. The Lord is compassionate and gracious, slow to anger, abounding in love. Psalm chapter 103, verse 8. The steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercies never come to an end. They are new every morning. Lamentations chapter 3, verses 22 and 23. He closed his eyes and imagined the face of Christ, not with fear, not with guilt, but with longing, with peace. Surely he took up our pain and bore our suffering. The punishment that brought us peace was on him, and by his wounds we are healed. Isaiah chapter 53, verses 4 and 5. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the stronghold of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? Psalm chapter 27, verse 1. The night was dark outside his window, but inside his soul, a quiet light remained, not from the lamp, but from the presence of the one who never leaves. Reflective pause. You do not need to chase peace. It is already near. Peace is not a place. Peace is a person, and he is with you now. You will lie down, and no one will make you afraid. Many will court your favor, but the Lord will be your confidence. Proverbs chapter 3, verse 24 through 26. Bedtime truth. What you fear tonight is not stronger than the one who watches over you. What you carry tonight is not heavier than the one who carries you. You are not behind. You are not too tired. You are not forgotten. God sees the hidden places, and He is gentle with them. Sleep now. Let your soul return to its true home. You are His. There was one night when the wind was loud against the glass. The sky was restless, and the world outside seemed uneasy. But inside, the lamp still glowed, and the Word was still open. And his heart, though tired, was steady. He had learned that peace does not depend on silence. It does not require calm weather. Peace can live even inside the storm. You will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast, because they trust in you. Isaiah chapter 26, verse 3. He had spent a lifetime trying to stay strong, trying to hold his family together, trying to make the right choices. Now, in the quiet season of life, he was finally learning to let go. Letting go was not giving up. It was handing over, surrendering to the arms that had carried him all along. The Lord is faithful to all His promises and loving toward all He has made. Psalm chapter 145, verse 13. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Psalm chapter 23, verse 4. He read slower now. Each word felt deeper. The older he got, the more the scriptures spoke with kindness, as a father has compassion on his children. So the Lord has compassion on those who fear Him. Psalm chapter 103, verse 13. He remembers that we are dust. Psalm chapter 103, verse 14. He no longer feared the night or the unknown. He knew who walked with him, even when his steps grew small. Even to your old age and gray hairs, I am He. I am the one who will sustain you. Isaiah chapter 46, verse 4. I have made you and I will carry you. I will sustain you and I will rescue you. Isaiah chapter 46, verse 4. He turned off the lamp. Let the darkness come. It was no longer something to fight. It was simply the place where rest begins. Reflective pause. You do not have to be strong to be loved. You do not have to understand to be held. God knows what you carry, and He does not ask you to carry it alone. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted. He saves those who are crushed in spirit. Psalm chapter 34, verse 18. Bedtime truth. Rest is not something you earn. It is something God gives. It is a gift for the weary, for the honest, for the ones who show up at the window each night and say, I'm here. Lord, God is here too. He has not changed. He is still speaking, still loving, still holding you. Close your eyes now. Let your heart be still. You are not alone. You are safe. You are seen. You are loved. It had been many nights now. The routine was simple. The chair, the lamp, the scriptures, and yet something deeper had begun to grow. Not just comfort, not just calm, but trust. He no longer asked, will God meet me? He knew he had been met in silence, in weakness, in stillness. The Lord your God is with you. He is mighty to save. He will take great delight in you. He will quiet you with His love. Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 17. Some nights he said no words at all, no prayer, no request, just listening, letting God speak into places that no one else could see, letting truth sink deeper than thoughts, letting rest come before answers, before a word is on my tongue. You, Lord, know it completely. Psalm chapter 139, verse 4. Search me, God, and know my heart. Test me and know my anxious thoughts. Psalm chapter 139, verse 23. He smiled at the thought that even his silence was heard, that God required no performance, only presence. The Spirit helps us in our weakness. When we do not know what to pray for, the Spirit himself intercedes for us with wordless groans. Romans chapter 8, verse 26. His hands rested gently on the pages. His eyes grew heavy. Sleep was no longer something he feared. It had become a holy place, a quiet surrender. In peace I will lie down and sleep, for you alone, Lord, make me dwell in safety. Psalm chapter 4, verse 8. Reflective pause. You are not too quiet for God. You are not too tired. You are not too small. He meets you where you are, not where you think you should be, not in your strength, but in your need. He gives strength to the weary and increases the power of the weak. Isaiah chapter 40, verse 29. Bedtime truth. There is nothing you must prove tonight, nothing you must earn. Only this: you are invited to rest. God sees the tears no one sees. He understands the weariness that words cannot explain. He is not in a hurry. He will stay through the night. You can stop striving. You can stop fearing. Sleep now. Let the presence of God be enough. You are held. You are safe. You are loved. The final night came without warning. Like every other night, he returned to the chair by the window. He opened the Word. He breathed in the stillness. Outside, the moon rested on the quiet trees. Inside, his heart was full, not of answers, but of peace. He had learned to let go, not of hope, but of the need to control, not of memory, but of regret, not of prayer, but of noise. He had learned to rest, and in doing so, he had met the God who had never left him. The Lord is good to those whose hope is in him, to the one who seeks him. It is good to wait quietly for the salvation of the Lord. Lamentations chapter 3, verses 25 and 26. He whispered one last prayer. It was not long, only a few words, but they were enough. Thank you for staying. The Lord watches over you. The Lord is your shade at your right hand. The Lord will keep you from all harm. He will watch over your life. Psalm chapter 121, verses 5 through 7. Then he closed his eyes. The room was still. The scriptures were open, and peace was complete. Reflective pause. There is no need to hurry. There is no need to fear. God is already with you, already watching over you, already preparing rest for your soul. Surely your goodness and love will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Psalm chapter 23, verse 6. Final bedtime truth. Tonight is not the end. It is not a loss. It is not a failure. Tonight is a return to stillness, to safety, to the arms of God, where you are seen, where you are known, where you are always loved. Sleep now. Dear soul, you are not alone. You never have been. The Lord is near, and you are home. Stay here a little longer. There's no need to rush. Let the stillness linger with you. You've just heard one story of quiet faith, but there's another waiting, another soul, another evening, another gentle meeting with God. So breathe deeply. Close your eyes again if you'd like, and let the next story begin one more quiet reminder that you are not alone. She folded the same blanket every evening, carefully, slowly, as if the act itself could keep time from slipping past her. It was the blanket he used to sit beneath, the one that smelled faintly of lavender. She never washed it too thoroughly. There was comfort in the memory. Outside the window, the sun was setting. The shadows in the room stretched longer, like old memories reaching across the floor. She didn't turn on the television, didn't check her phone, just folded the blanket, then sat beside it. The Bible was waiting, right where she left it, worn at the edges. A bookmark rested in the Psalms. She hadn't read them in weeks. She wasn't angry at God, not anymore. She just wasn't sure how to come close again. But tonight, something felt softer. The quiet wasn't as heavy. The light on the bookshelf glowed gently, as if inviting her to try. So she opened the scriptures and waited. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. Psalm chapter 34, verse 18. She whispered it aloud, just once, then again. She didn't expect the tears, but they came. Not loud. Just a quiet release, like water flowing from a place she had kept locked for too long. He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. Psalm chapter 147, verse 3. She remembered their last night together, his hand in hers, the blanket pulled up around his shoulders, the prayer they had whispered together, even when words were hard to find. I'll keep reading, she had said, and now, here she was, reading, not because she had to, but because she was ready again, ready to listen, ready to feel again, ready to rest. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Matthew chapter 11, verse 28. Reflective pause. Some grief does not scream. It folds blankets. It brews tea. It lights a small lamp in the quiet. And even in that God draws near. He does not rush your healing. He simply sits with you until your heart is ready to return. Even to your old age and gray hairs, I am He. I am the one who will sustain you. Isaiah chapter 46, verse 4. Bedtime truth. You do not have to find the right words. You do not have to rush your sorrow. God is not waiting for you to be okay. He is already here, in the room, in the pause, in the pages, and He will wait with you until your soul finds rest again. The next evening, she folded the blanket again, but this time, her hands were steadier, not because the grief was gone, but because it had loosened its grip. She moved slower now, not out of weakness, but with reverence, as if each movement had meaning. The lamp clicked on, the pages opened. She didn't start where she left off. She let her fingers move freely until they stopped at the book of Isaiah. Her eyes settled on the verse without effort. It was waiting for her, You will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast, because they trust in you. Isaiah chapter 26, verse 3. She let the verse settle in the room. She let it sink beneath the silence. And then she breathed deeply. Peace had felt distant for so long, like something promised to others, but not for her. Now, it didn't feel so far away. It felt close, like warm hands cupped around her soul. The Lord gives strength to his people. The Lord blesses his people with peace. Psalm chapter 29, verse 11. She reached for the bookmark again, but left it aside. Tonight, she would not mark progress. She would not count pages. She would simply rest. She remembered how he used to say, "Sometimes it's not about how much you read, but how deeply you listen." So she listened, not just to the words, but to the quiet between them. "Be still and know that I am God." Psalm chapter 46, verse 10. The room had not changed. The ache had not vanished. But something in her had shifted. She was not alone in the silence. "Not anymore. My presence will go with you, and I will give you rest." Exodus chapter 33, verse 14. Reflective pause. Grief is not a straight path. It curves, circles, and quiets. But God does not lose track of you. Even when you feel far from yourself, he is near. The Lord is near to all who call on him. To all who call on him in truth. Psalm chapter 145, verse 18. Bedtime truth. Rest is not a reward for being strong. It is a gift for the weary. And tonight, it is yours. You don't need to hold yourself together. God is holding you. Right now, right here. Sleep now. Let the peace you've been longing for meet you as you are. You are safe. You are seen. You are deeply loved. That night, the wind brushed gently against the window. She listened to it while holding her cup of tea. The room was dim, but the stillness felt soft, not empty. The blanket was already folded. The Bible rested on her lap. She didn't rush to open it. She just sat with it, as if holding it close was enough. For years, she had rushed. She had managed the home, answered every call, cooked every meal. She had held others when they were falling apart, but no one had taught her how to be held. Until now, as a mother comforts her child, so will I comfort you. Isaiah chapter 66, verse 13. She turned to the Psalms again, not searching, only waiting. Her eyes found the page. It felt like the page had been waiting too. "Surely your goodness and love will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever." Psalm chapter 23, verse 6. She whispered it aloud. Then she closed her eyes. She let the verse repeat in her mind, like a song you don't try to remember, but never forget. She no longer feared forgetting. She no longer feared the night. When you lie down, you will not be afraid. Your sleep will be sweet. Proverbs chapter 3, verse 24. Sometimes, she still missed him so deeply that it caught her breath. But tonight, it didn't sting the same way. The ache had softened. The memory had become a companion, not a weight. Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. Matthew chapter 5, verse 4. She didn't read much more. Just one last verse before closing the book. You hem me in behind and before, and you lay your hand upon me. Psalm chapter 139, verse 5. She turned off the lamp. The room dimmed, and she leaned back in the chair, eyes closed, heart calm. Reflective pause. Sometimes peace comes quietly, not as answers, but as nearness, not as clarity, but as comfort. You do not need to understand everything to be at peace. You only need to be still. My soul finds rest in God alone. My salvation comes from Him. Psalm chapter 62, verse 1. Bedtime truth. You have nothing to prove, nothing to fix before you sleep. You are already loved, already known, already held. Let your body release the weight of the day. Let your mind loosen its grip. Sleep now. You are not forgotten. You are not alone. You are safe in His care. She didn't mean to fall asleep in the chair, but when she opened her eyes, the room was darker. The blanket had slipped slightly off the edge. Her tea had gone cold. Still, she felt rested, not in her body, but somewhere deeper. A place she had almost forgotten was there. She stood slowly, moved to the window, looked out at the soft light from the street lamp. It was strange how the world could feel so quiet, and yet her heart so full. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. John chapter 1, verse 5. She placed her hand on the window pane. The glass was cool, the air outside still. She remembered something He used to say on evenings just like this one. God hasn't forgotten us. Not tonight. Not ever. She believed that now. I have loved you with an everlasting love. I have drawn you with unfailing kindness. Jeremiah chapter 31, verse 3. She returned to the chair, pulled the blanket over her knees again, and opened the scriptures one more time. Not out of duty, but out of delight. The word felt alive tonight. Not like a task, but like a friend sitting beside her. The Lord is my portion, says my soul. Therefore, I will hope in Him. Lamentations chapter 3, verse 24. She did not need many verses, just one or two. Truth has never required volume. She closed the Bible gently, let her hands rest over it, and breathed out slowly. You are my hiding place. You will protect me from trouble and surround me with songs of deliverance. Psalm chapter 32, verse 7. Reflective pause. You do not need to be busy to be faithful. You do not need to speak many words to be heard. Sometimes it is enough to sit, to return to the window, to let peace find you again. Be still before the Lord and wait patiently for Him. Psalm chapter 37, verse 7. Bedtime truth. God is not in a hurry. He is not measuring your progress. He is simply here, beside you, within you, speaking peace into the places you thought were forgotten. Let His word be the last voice you hear tonight. Let His promises hold you more surely than any blanket. Sleep now. He is watching over you still. The days were growing shorter now. Evening came faster. Shadows lingered longer across the floor. She had once dreaded this time of year. Too quiet, too still, too many hours to remember. But something was different this season. The silence wasn't as hollow. The stillness didn't feel like absence. It felt expectant, like God was saying, I am here in this too. Even the darkness will not be dark to you. The night will shine like the day. Psalm chapter 139, verse 12. She placed her hands over her heart and closed her eyes. She did not feel strong, but she felt safe, and that was enough. I lie down and sleep. I wake again because the Lord sustains me. Psalm chapter 3, verse 5. Some nights, she still reached for his hand, out of habit, out of memory, and when she did, she smiled softly, not because the ache was gone, but because love had not ended. She no longer asked, why did he have to go instead? She prayed, thank you for letting him stay so long. Precious in the sight of the Lord is the death of his faithful servants. Psalm chapter 116, verse 15. He will wipe every tear from their eyes. There will be no more death, or mourning, or crying, or pain. Revelation chapter 21, verse 4. She opened the scriptures again. It didn't matter where. It always spoke. Tonight, it was the prophet Isaiah. Those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint. Isaiah chapter 40, verse 31. She whispered it once more and let the room fall silent. Her breathing slowed. Her hands relaxed. Her soul found rest. Reflective pause. Sometimes healing comes quietly, not in sudden relief, but in steady presence. God does not hurry your soul. He walks with it at the pace of grace. He tends his flock like a shepherd. He gathers the lambs in his arms and carries them close to his heart. Isaiah chapter 40, verse 11. Bedtime truth. You don't have to feel strong to be safe. You don't have to feel brave to be loved. God's arms are not tired of holding you. He will stay until morning. And even then, he will still be near. Close your eyes. Let go. You are surrounded by mercy. Sleep now. The night belongs to God, and so do you. She found herself humming again. It surprised her. A soft melody from years ago. One he used to sing while washing the dishes. One she hadn't heard out loud in a long time. But tonight it returned, not from memory, but from peace. Peace had become her evening companion, not loud, not overwhelming, but steady, quiet, like a heartbeat beside her own. The Lord your God is with you. He will take great delight in you. In his love, he will no longer rebuke you, but will rejoice over you with singing. Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 17. She smiled as she poured her tea. She folded the blanket once more, not because she had to, but because she wanted to. These gentle acts had become sacred. Each one a prayer. Each one a pause. Each one a return. Return to your rest, my soul, for the Lord has been good to you. Psalm chapter 116, verse 7. She lit a small candle by the windowsill, watched the flame flicker. It reminded her of how fragile life can feel and how beautiful. She sat with the flame. She sat with the Word. She sat with God. Your word is a lamp to my feet and a light to my path. Psalm chapter 119, verse 105. Her thoughts drifted to her children, to the days when the house was full of footsteps and laughter. She missed it, but she did not wish it back. She had learned to bless what had been and to receive what still was. The boundary lines have fallen for me in pleasant places. Surely I have a delightful inheritance. Psalm chapter 16, verse 6. She turned to a fresh page in Scripture. There, waiting for her, was one last verse before sleep. In quietness and trust is your strength. Isaiah chapter 30, verse 15. She closed the Bible. The candle flickered lower. Her body softened into the chair. She was ready to sleep. Reflective pause. Sometimes the deepest rest comes not from understanding, but from surrender. God is not asking you to figure it out, only to be still, only to trust. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. Exodus chapter 14, verse 14. Bedtime truth. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not less than others who seem stronger. You are His, completely, gently, forever. Let that be enough for tonight. Sleep in peace. You are safe. You are loved. You are home. The morning light had not yet come, but the room was filled with peace. A soft candle glow. The quiet rhythm of her breath. The Word still open on the table. She hadn't fallen asleep right away. She had just rested. No rushing thoughts. No fear. Just rest. It was a kind of sleep that doesn't come from tiredness, but from being held completely, safely. I lay down and slept. I woke again because the Lord sustained me. Psalm chapter 3, verse 5. She stirred gently in the chair, pulled the blanket higher, the one he used to fold, the one she now folded every night. It had become a part of their shared story, now woven with her story in God. She looked toward the window. The sky was beginning to lighten. Because of the Lord's great love, we are not consumed, for His compassions never fail. They are new every morning. Lamentations chapter 3, verses 22 and 23. She didn't rush to stand. She wasn't in a hurry to leave the stillness. She let it linger. Let God linger. And in the silence, she whispered words she hadn't said aloud in years. Thank you for staying. The Lord is my portion, says my soul. Therefore I will wait for Him. Lamentations chapter 3, verse 24. She knew she would fold the blanket again tonight. She would light the candle again. She would sit in the same chair, not out of habit, but out of love, because something had changed. Grief was still there, but peace had returned, and peace was staying. Peace I leave with you, my peace I give you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled, and do not be afraid. John chapter 14, verse 27. Reflective pause. There is a kind of peace that comes not from understanding, but from trusting. Not from holding on, but from letting go. Not from knowing what's ahead, but from knowing who walks beside you. Surely your goodness and love will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Psalm chapter 23, verse 6. Final bedtime truth. The night is not empty. The silence is not forgotten. The slow unfolding of your heart is not unseen. God is here, still, always. You may fold the same blanket again tomorrow. You may light the same candle. You may whisper the same prayer, but it will not be in vain. He is in it all. Sleep now, beloved soul. You are not alone. You are not lost. You are deeply, eternally loved.